There's a lot to be said about that, playing the same deck with which you've already done so well at Worlds. But on the other side, we have Nina Eisenblätter here, who unfortunately does not seem to have any accomplishments we can talk about. But I can tell you one thing, the very, very, very nice finish at Dortmund Regionals 2024, and wearing that lovely shirt from Worlds this past year as well. So I believe it is a competitor shirt as well.
Yep.
So I believe she did qualify for Worlds this past year, although I might need to check that. Either way, I've watched her play a little bit so far today, or yesterday, I should say, this tournament, and piloting this Reddy deck expertly. So it's a game I'm very much looking forward to.
I think there's a good chance that this is Nina's first season in the Masters division, so maybe that could be why the accomplishments there were looking a bit lackluster. But as you said, there's definitely going to be one added this weekend, so let's see what Nina can do. Imagine that being your first season in Masters. This could be a very first Master regional level event. And immediately thrust into top 8 contention. What a fantastic start. Could be one to watch out for moving forward. Let's consult these prize cards here, though. Nina is playing at Reddy, has prize Giratina V-Star and a Dragapult EX. But it looks like our Swiss Round 12 feature match here is going to get started. Winning in action. And Nina is going to start... oh, no, I apologise. Rahul Reddy is going to start us off, but not the best of leads there, Ross, with a Luminion.
No, it's just a Luminion. So we see an Ultra Ball turn 1 from Rahul. We're going to need to see a Lugia at the very least. The good news is this Reddy deck doesn't really put on any turn 1 pressure. That means Rahul can just go and get the single Lugia this turn, whereas against something like a Raging Bolt, for instance, you would need double Lugia if you were going first. And while you were chatting there, our lovely backstage crew already confirmed this is, in fact, Nina's first season in Masters. She has aged up and immediately come to her first Masters regional and found herself winning in day 2 on stream.
So here we go. Looks like Rahul's going to Ultra Ball for that Lugia V, attach a V-Guard Energy and pass. Worth noting, viewers, that V-Guard Energy is very impactful in this matchup because it will reduce damage taken from the Reddy V-Star. So let's take a little moment to discuss these decks. Nina's deck is revolving around Reddy V-Star, has the Apex Dragon attack that can use any one of your Dragon Pokemon in your discard pile as the effect of this attack. So you can use, you know, Dragapult EX, you can use Giratina V-Star, well, that's in the prize cards currently, or you could use Curum's Tri-Frost. Now, how are we going to get those energy attached? As we see Nina conclude that Nest Ball to grab that Squawkabilly EX. You use Teal Mask Ogerpon, Teal Dance to attach it to itself, and then we use Energy Switch to switch them onto the Reddy.
Yeah, and as for your Lugia, it's a very linear start to the game. You need to get your Lugia V-Star out. You use the V-Star power to put 2 colorless Pokemon from your discard pile onto your bench, which need to be a pair of Archeops, which you need to discard early in order to do so. And then your Archeops will each accelerate 2 special energy from your deck during your turn. And then you build up lots of energy on stuff like Lugia and Chinchino, and hopefully pull off big attacks. And then you pull off a little bit of a victory. So we do have a Squawkabilly on the bench from Nina. Now, she does go double Regidrago, but remember, that is her main attacker in this deck, so you definitely need to get a spare. We haven't seen the Squawking Seas activated yet, have we?
No, we haven't. So we've just seen the bench Regidrago. I think debate whether to put the Spirit Tomb down, but I think bench slots are going to be quite tough here.
I agree.
So we are going to see a Squawk and Seas, but did get rid of the Curum there, so Trifrost is potentially usable in the next few coming turns. Squawk and Seas discarding your hand to draw 6, as long as it's the first turn of the game.
But also discarded that Radiant Charizard, which will need to be recovered because it is a great late-game attacker. Here's your first Teal Mask Ogerpon, and then we got a Nest Ball. And now Nina's got, well, I mean, she's done a bunch of searching, so in theory, this should be her perfect bench.
Yep. I think you are correct. We do see the Nest Ball being played. Worth noting, though, we said about the Radiant Charizard hitting the discard pile. It could be argued, as it looks like this Nest Ball is being a failed search here, is that Regidrago has the best access to his discard pile of any deck in the game because Legacy Star letting you discard top 7 cards of your deck, and then you can grab any 2 cards you like back from your discard pile, whatever you like, as we are going to see a retreat into Cleffa, restart for 1, and an Earthen Vessel, it looks like, debate whether to be played, letting you discard 1 card from your hand to grab 2 basic energy from your deck.
Yeah, and we got grasping draw here. Draw cards until you have 7 cards in your hand. Although we all wish it was called Eek.
Yep.
At least we are if we're of a certain age. This is the kind of Pokemon I was talking about when we were chatting between rounds there. A nice early game Pokemon to go and grab yourselves a few cards to hopefully get that set up. Because both of these decks are going to need a little bit of a setup. Here is your grasping draw. Nina draws a bunch of cards. And now it's over to Rahul. And it's really simple. Can you get your Lugia V-Star with 2 Archeops in the discard?
We see a Jet Energy attach. That's going to get the Lugia V into the active position. We see a Professor's Research, I believe. So it's going to be very important here what we draw off the research. Lugia V debating whether to be benched. Doesn't look like it, though.
Nope.
Just going to get discarded along with 1 copy of Mist Energy. Rahul, can you discard some Archeops? Oh.
Potentially. Now, I'm seeing some searching. Have we got any discard in there as well? No, there's no discard there at all. You're going to have to...
Going to have to be some Read the Wind action, I believe. We're going to see some Capturing Aroma. If Head, you can search your deck for an Evolution. If Tails, grab a Basic. We see a Tails.
You wanted...
It's going to be a Basic.
Yeah, you wanted the Heads there. You wanted to go and get the Archeops to discard it with Read the Wind. We know Rahul doesn't really want another Lugia, because if he did, he'd have got one last time. Here's a flip. There's the Heads. And yeah, straight for the Archeops here. No mucking about. Yes, Lugia V-Star is a good card and you need it at some point, but Archeops first.
Yeah, you have to get the Archeops in the discard pile first. That is the initial hurdle of these Lugia decks. Nestball going to be played here as well. Going to grab the Minccino.
Yeah, Minccino there coming down. I like Minccino. Minccino's fun. Chinchino. Oh, that was a deck I loved back in the black and white era. Very different nowadays. But Chinchino, it's just lovely. Lovely little chinchilla Pokemon. And then Minccino there as well. There is finally a second Lugia. And to nobody's surprise, discard the Archeops of Read the Wind, draw some cards. And actually, it's a turn slow. With a Lugia V-Star next turn, Rahul's off and running.
Yeah, but that does give the advantage over to Nina here, though. I think has all the necessary pieces in hand to attack with an Apex Dragon here, because I can see a V-Star, I can see some Energy Switch, and I can see an Energy Turn attachment as well. Till Dance did get used there. There is the Regidrago V-Star. There is a turn attachment. We know Energy Switch is in hand. Apex Dragon currently is live. That Cleffa as well as being a great draw option, as we do see the Energy Switch being played. Also has a free retreat cost as well, so no resources will be needed to maneuver out the active.
And Nina got to use Cleffa there without giving up a prize. That was on our desk. Yeah. You didn't see this. But as we were doing the Rahul intro video, that landed on our desk for a second and then flew off before the camera came back to us. Now it's apparently made its way out over to the table. There is a butterfly flying around causing havoc. Now, Nina here is getting a bunch of cards off of INO, as is Rahul. And now, what's in the discard to copy right now, Shay?
I think the Curum got discarded.
That definitely.
I don't think I've seen anything else yet. Legacy Star is still available. There's an Ultra Ball in hand as well. Hopefully, Nina's going to elude us to us there. So I think it was just Curum.
I'm cool with Curum. Do you know what Curum's going to do?
What's Curum going to do?
Going to take out the only Minccino.
Yeah.
And Lugia does not do enough damage to KO a Regidrago V-Star.
No.
So if I can KO the only thing that could potentially KO me next turn, I feel good about this, Shay.
Yeah, that would be disastrous. Here we are going to see the Ultra Win played though, and a discard of Regidrago V. Maybe a Teal Mask Ogerpon potentially. I mean, we do have our one rolling here. Might not need a second one, at least for now. So that is going to get discarded. We could even see Legacy Star being used here to try and, you know, grab another attacker, if you like. There is the nice rarity Regidrago. That's actually my favorite rarity, by the way. I know it's going to be a little bit controversial, but love me that style rarity there. So let's see what we have. Support has been used. Turn attachment has been used. Till Dance has been used. So it's just Legacy Star available if Nina so chooses.
Important to note, Nina comes in on 28
Oh, sorry, there is a Dragapult EX in discard pile. I apologise. There it is.
Then Dragapult. I like Dragapult, but you are... Now, this is kind of nice. So you get the damage on the Lugia, you get the damage on the Luminion. Of course, free attacks with the extra 60 damage on the Luminion is an extra 2-prize KO. But I am slightly concerned here. There is a chance that we do see... Yeah, now here comes the Lugia. If we get a Chinchino doing big damage here, that can KO the Regidrago, get rid of all 3 of those energy, and put Rahul 2 prizes up as well.
It looks like that's cool. Might be what we're seeing is Summoning Star's going to get 2 Archeops back into play. Primal Turbo, letting you attach 2 special energy from your deck to one of your Pokemon. That's going to be on the Minccino. So as it stands now, if Chinchino comes out from the hand, that special roll will be able to take a massive KO on that Reggie Drago V-Star. Let's see what Rahul can do. Can obviously just play retreat here on the active Lugia V-Star. So there's a gift energy from the deck. Could also attach a jet energy to the bench Mincino to get it into the active as well. Multitude of ways of doing it. Let's see what Rahul can do here as he concludes that Primal Turbo. Shuffling up. Here we go.
Does he have a Cinccino? That's going to be the big question here. Get a Cinccino.
Nope, there it is.
Oh, it's already
And it is the jet energy as well. The Cinccino flying into the active special roll. 70 for each special energy card attached to this Pokemon. So you know what that means? That is enough for a big swing KO on the Reggie Drago V-Star. And Rahul already takes the first 2 prize cards of our Swiss 112 feature match. Nina, it's over to you.
And that's what I was worried about there. Now, there is a potential here to kind of KO this Cinccino, put a bunch of damage down, and it is the only one on the board. There's no Mincino ready to evolve down there. So Nina's not in a terrible position if she can get a Regidrago now.
I think you could potentially go for a Trifrost here, right? That would KO active, and that would KO... Oh, wait a minute. Trifrost would KO... active Cinccino.
Yes.
Bench Luminion.
Yes.
And Lugia V-Star, right?
Yes.
Ooh.
And that's what I mean. I'm not saying that using Dragapult last turn was wrong. I'm saying that it was risky because this could happen and it forces you to get another Regidrago. If Nina does get another Regidrago and uses that Trifrost, then we're in a great position. 2 Trifrost would KO the Cinccino, put some extra damage on the board, KO the Luminion, but it would not have KO'd the Lugia if we'd just seen Trifrost last turn and this turn. But the Dragapult last turn and Trifrost this turn does get all 3 of them. That is the big difference.
So we need to see some energy switch for that play to be live. Looks like Ultra Ball here being played. We did see a Prime Catcher. Not strictly necessary to get the Trifrost off here, but we could, you know, bring up an Archeops there and, you know, leave it in the active to make it harder for Rahul. That is definitely an option. Now, see, the downside to Kyurem's Trifrost attack is, though, is that it forces you to discard all energy attached, or free energy attached to the Pokemon, I should say. So that is very costly to use. However...
if I'm getting 5 prizes, I feel
I was about to say, however, when you take so many prize cards, it's probably worth the drawback of discarding all energy attached, as it was a nest ball that's being played, and it looks like that's going to be failed here as well.
Yeah, that's all right for me. That is the thing about Triforce. It's a great attack. Does force you to discard the energy. So we got a lot of damage already on the board. Looking to take advantage. Here's a V-Star power. There is an energy switch now. There's 2 in the discard if you want them. Free energy switch in the discard. It depends what else you need. I kind of want to take 2 energy switch back, honestly, Shay, because there's only 1 left available now in the deck.
I think you have to. I think support has been played already, I believe. And we would need 2 copies of energy switch to attack. So I think it is going to be 2 copies of energy switch. And that is the that's the great thing about Legacy Starter. It lets you just reuse resources. However, it does obviously discard another 5 cards as well. So here we do see energy switch from Ogerpon to Regidrago. There we see energy switch from Teal-Mask Ogerpon to Regidrago. Let's see what else. We see another Teal-Mask Ogerpon hitting the bench. All manner of things. Here we do see a free retreat. Are we going to see the big, hefty Trifrost? Are we going to see another...
I think you've...
Are we going to see the Dragapult? We could see the Phantom Dive.
Phantom Dive would not be terrible.
Oh, well, it looks like Nina's eyed up that Trifrost. Here we go. 5 prize turn, everybody. Goodness gracious me. Oh, wait, does the V-Guard push it out of range? It would reduce the damage by 30.
Oh, did we miss the V-Guard energy there, Shay? So that would do 80 then, presumably. And yeah, it would be 10 short, wouldn't it?
10 short. Goodness gracious me. The V-Guard, I did say at the start, is very important in this matchup. I'd say it's still a 3 prize turn, though. Halfway there. So I think it's Nina debating where to put the rest of this Trifrost damage then. Looks like...
yeah, there's 170 on the Lugia, so it's got 110 left.
Ah, yeah, so the V-Guard does save you then, yeah.
The V-Guard would put you down to 30. I think I'll put it on to 250, which would be 30 left remaining. I think that's the way the maths works out here.
Interesting. So that means...
and it's not damage counted, so it's all going in one lump.
Yes.
You can't spread it around here. It's not like with your Dragapult damage counters.
And that V-Guard energy is one of the main reasons why Lugia has a slightly favoured Regidrago matchup, because of that V-Guard. Just makes it a little bit harder for Regidrago to actually reach and get those big KOs. We did see a gift energy draw there before the promotion of the Lugia V-Star. Another bench Lugia V-Star comes down, and let's see what Rahul does. Has no Mincino developed, so we're not going to see any big special roles so far. So let's see what Rahul can do. Looks like trying to work out what's available in that hand. So many alt art, it's hard to work out exactly what I'm looking at there, to be fair. So he's going to consult the discard piles, and let's see. In an ideal world, Ross, what do you think Rahul is kind of looking for here?
What Rahul's really looking for here is a Cinccino. Like, that's the ideal situation. Now, I know that's not coming out right now because there's no Mincino on the board. You need a Mincino to evolve into a Cinccino. That's not coming out right now. So Rahul's not in a great position. Like, for this turn specifically, you can do 220, and honestly, that's about the best you can manage this turn. You're not really looking for anything other than a setup for next turn. This turn, you can't do too much. Legacy energy, I really like, I was about to say, because you're going to get KO'd. You might as well only give up one prize rather than two. But what you're really doing here is you're hitting 220 and going, I'll KO you next turn. I don't need to worry about it right now. And actually, cheekily, putting 2 double turbo on that Lugia, reducing it down to 180. But of course, if you're not one-hit KOing, you're two-hit KOing. That is easily enough. Does mean you can't KO a Teal Mask Ogapom.
Nope.
But, you know, you've got one that can anyway, so...
And you still get the Mew EX and the Squawkabilly as well. So get those double turbo energy out of the deck nice and early. Don't need to be seeing them. We do actually have boss's orders in the hand for Rahul as well. So could actually opt to just, you know, Tempest Dive, KO, Squawkabilly, and then try and boss orders Mew EX. We do see the boss's orders being played into a Teal Mask Ogapom.
Which can be KO'd by the active, like we said.
Yep, that Tempest Dive, 220 damage there. There is no change to this card. So Rahul takes 2 more prize cards, currently 1 attack away from winning.
But I'm pretty sure the last 2 boss's orders are the top of his prizes, the 2 he hasn't taken yet, which means there's only 1 left. There is 1 left in his deck, but I think he's only actually got access to 1 more boss's orders. It might be a pain to find next turn.
Well, that's something we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on there, as it is over to Nina. We'll have no problems of getting rid of this Lugia V-Star. Opts how to do it. Ideally, you probably want to try and do it with 1 prize ring active. But that's not going to be possible with Radiant Charizard. So let's see what Nina can do. The active energy on the Lugia V-Star, that legacy energy, remember, will reduce the amount of prize cards your opponent's taken if it gets knocked out by 1.
Yeah, which isn't actually the end of the world right now because Nina's got 3 prizes remaining. So you KO this and a 2 prizer and you're good. So you're really going after both of those Lugia. We have had confirmation. It is the last 2 prizes are both boss's orders for Rahul. So that means there is only 1 left available in the deck as Rahul's got a 2-card hand. And this is essentially what you're looking to do if you're Nina here. Slow the game down, put Rahul down to a low hand size, keep yourself out of range, hope he whiffs the boss's orders, which we know is actually pretty likely, which is annoying because Rahul plays 4 just so he doesn't whiff in situations like this, and then try and build some damage up. But this, I think, is an inherent downside with Reddy. When 2 of them get KO'd, it gets awkward, hence why we're going for Radiant Charizard here.
Yeah, I think in an ideal world, you'd love to take the KO with this. Leave a 1 prizer in the active, just make it even more harder for Rahul. As we do see, well, looks like it's being targeted there off the super and just debating whether to grab some basic energy there. Remember, there isn't actually, I think there's 1 energy switch left in the deck. So that's
there should be 1 left in the deck, yes.
So that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on as well. Attacking with Reddy is going to be very hard if you haven't got many copies of energy switch left. As we do see Nestball going to grab that Radiant Charizard and get it straight into play.
Yeah, problem is Radiant Charizard is, even with the 2 double turbo, bringing you down to 180. Charizard's only got 160, so that will absolutely be KO'd by Lugia here. So we do see an Earthen Vessel putting Dragapult in the discard pile, going to search for some energy. But Nina is running very low on resources. Still has Prime Catcher left for what it's worth.
Yep.
Does she have a way to recover Radiant Charizard? Because that's what I'm really looking for here.
Well, again, after this KO, if it does play 2 copies of Super, I'm not sure if the other one is available. But here we do see the retreat into that Radiant Charizard and a Combustion Blast. Now, Rahul does get to use Gift Energy. And, oh no, for that concession, I believe, didn't draw the boss. Wait, was that a concession? No, it wasn't. No, I apologise. Oh, there's Luminion, though, of the Gift Energy, Ross. So, wait, they can't grab the... Oh, yeah, the last boss. There it is.
Wow. KO on the Squawkabilly, and Rahul takes game 1. And now this is very important. Rahul might not need this win. Rahul's on 30 points coming in. Now, I'm not saying 30 points is the bubble, but I'm saying there is an outside chance, or there's at least a chance that it is. Nina, however, comes in on 28 points. I am pretty sure a tie does not get Nina into top 8 here, or into our asymmetrical top cut. Nina really needs a win, so finding herself down by 1 game on stream in the final round, she is going to need these next 2 wins pretty quickly, honestly. She is going to need to get up a couple of wins, because I don't think she gets into top 8 unless she does.
Well, you know, it's just 1 turn away. That gift energy there on the Lugia proving so impactful for just getting around that INO, and was able to grab Rahul there, that Luminion, to grab that boss. As you did say, it does play the max copies of 4 bosses, orders, and an iron bundle, so there is going to be a lot of time you can gust around. Let's take a look at our replay here, though. Here was that big special roll, which immediately put Nina here on the back foot, right, Ross?
Yeah, we saw the big attack with Chinchino, with special roll, getting that KO on that Regidrago V-Star, putting Rahul up by 2 prizes. Nina did come back with that huge Trifrost, but here late in the game, we see the Luminion coming down, grabbing the boss's orders, and Rahul KOs that Squawkabilly for the win. There is actually something cool that's going to happen if Rahul wins this game.
What's that?
Because Jelle van Kempen and Tord Reklev have tied. So Jelle finishes on 32 match points, Tord finishes on 31. Okay. They are both in the asymmetrical top cut. 31, I'm sure, is safe. Okay. There's no way Tord, you know, it must have been an intentional tie at this point. It's quite early in the round.
Yeah.
So there's no way Tord ties unless he knows he's in top 8. Well, there's only 1 player that can jump and become the #1 seed, and that is Rahul.
Okay.
If Rahul wins this game now, he will finish on 33 points. He will be the top seed, and that means guaranteed no chance of being on the bubble. You will not be playing the asymmetrical top cut round.
And here we do see Nina going to start us off here in our game 2. Led that 1 copy of Spirit Tomb. Fettered in Misfortune will turn off V Pokemon abilities, so that would actually stop any Luminion shenanigans from Rahul. I'm not 100% sure if it's a card you would want to use too much in this matchup, because bench space is very important here in Regidrago, but it has got a use right now for Nina, as she does start to turn off there with an Earthen Vessel. Going to discard that Dragapult EX. Love to see that early on the discard pile to grab it. It looks like a Fire Energy and a Grass Energy, and do a little prize card check at the same time.
Yeah, that Dragapult is the main attacker here in Regidrago, turn to turn, because we've seen, you know, you can hit up to 280 with your Giratina, but you got to lost zone a couple of energy. You can hit 110 to 3 different Pokemon with your Trifrost, copying your Kyurem, but you've got to discard all the energy to do so. Dragapult, 200 to the active, 6 damage counters wherever you want on the bench, no downside.
Nope, fantastic attack realistically, and can be used to just really soften up your opponent's Pokemon, and then just come in with a big Triforce later on, as we do say, or you can just keep peppering them with the Phantom Dive over and over and over again. So it looks like this Earthen Vessel now, it has been concluded as the deck does get shuffled. I wonder what else is in Nina's hand. Oh no. There's no Ball Search in that hand, Ross. It's just an attach to the active Spirit Tomb, and I think it's going to have to be a pass.
Oh, now the one saving grace is that very much like Regidrago, Lugia is a deck that does not put on turn 1 pressure.
No.
There's no real attacking threat here. We do see a heads on your capturing Aroma to go and search out that Archeops nice and early, which is lovely. The thing is, you're not getting a Regidrago V-Star next turn because there was no V at the end of your last turn. You went first, but you're somehow a turn behind.
Yep.
You're in a bad position. You're not going to lose turn 1 like you might against something like, you know, Raging Bolt, for instance, or Gouging Fire, or my boy Miraidon. There's not much turn 1 pressure going here, but you're basically saying to a Lugia deck, oh, you have the first turn to set up. I'll worry about it later. Not where you want to be. So we do see 1 Archeops hitting the discard here for Rahul. Minccino on the bench. This is looking good.
Yeah, if there's any deck you don't want to give going first advantage to, it's Lugia, especially if they can get 2 Archeops in the discard pile turn 1, which I think is possible here. If this, so this Ultra Ball grabs an Archeops, as long as there's any energy in Rahul's hand, and it plays a lot, we can just read the wind, get that in the discard pile, and basically says, right, chances are, all I have to do is find a V-Star next turn, and I am doing exactly what I want to do, and you haven't got your V-Star. Can even attach Legacy Energy to read the wind. Both Archeops in the discard pile here over to Nina. Now, we know there is an RNO in hand. That RNO could make or break Nina's chances at making his asymmetrical top cut here. Here we go.
And low-key, Rahul's hand is terrible.
Was it?
I think there was like 2 bosses orders and a bunch of energy. I could be wrong. I only got a very quick look. I think Rahul's hand was terrible before that Iono. I didn't see a Lugia V-Star anyway to get it or anything else, but Nina can't be worrying about that because her hand was just as bad. She now gets the double Regidrago, energy, and a Mew restart for 1. She's got actually double V-Star in hand, but no energy switch, and you're about to lose this Spiritomb probably. No Teal Mask Ogerpon.
So we do see the Ultra Ball there to grab the Lugia V-Star. So that means Rahul Reddy will be able to do Summoning Star this turn, get 2 Archeops into play. And we all know what happens when 2 Archeops come into play, Ross. We're going to start seeing some Primal Turbo. We all know what happens when that we all know what happens when they come out. Special energy starts flying here, there, and everywhere.
And then Cinccino comes out and does big attacks. Lugia comes out and does medium-sized attacks. And Archeops just sits on your bench having a fun old party, feeling like they're the ones that made it all happen in the first place, because they totally are. Here's 2 energy coming down onto the Cinccino, which is all that's needed, because that Spiritomb is, frankly, not a big Pokemon.
60 hit points. Couldn't even use the attack fade out, because that actually forces you to put it back into your hand and all cards attached to it, and you'd rather the Spiritomb be there to tank a hit. We do see that V-Guard energy, very impactful. We saw in Game 1 getting attached. Rahul takes his first prize card here on his march to be #1 seed going into asymmetrical top cut. Now, at the very least, we could see a Legacy Star, but I know there's not a lot of very good stuff there. We do see a restart 1, 2, Iono, and a Giratina.
Yeah, and I don't like this for Nina at all. You've got 2 energy. You don't actually need all that much right now. What you really need is a Teal Mask Ogerpon, a Grass Energy to attach to it, and then an energy switch to move it over to Regidrago. Mew has got free retreat, so you can just retreat into the Regidrago and start attacking, but you're a prize down, you're a turn behind, and we don't actually have the Teal Mask Ogerpon energy switch combination right now.
No.
And here's the thing, right? Regidrago's V-Star power is great. We see these Terrapagos players this weekend playing it just for the V-Star power. But early in the game, you have to discard the top 7 cards of your deck and hope you hit what you need. Late in the game, you know that what you want is in the discard, and that is a very different proposition. We do see 2 energy switch.
We have got some piece of the puzzle. Can flip the script get there?
Dipty for free.
Can it get there? No, still no Teal Mask Ogerpon, though.
But all 4 energy switch.
Like the reverse of last game. We're going to have to see a Legacy Star, perhaps. I don't think a Nest Ball's been played, actually, at this moment in time. So you'd have to hope to grab it off the discard here off Legacy Star. Currently, with that hand, there is no attack. Here we do see Legacy Star, though.
You have to.
Oh, goodness.
No.
Oh, my goodness gracious me. Legacy Star.
And look, what you really need here is a Nest Ball and a Grass Energy, and they're both in there, so you can get them, get your Teal Mask Ogerpon, get your attack. The problem is, you also got really good Prime Catcher and your Radiant Charizard.
Wow, and that is the downside to Legacy Star. It's great for reusing resources. A lot of the time, it can be used to reuse your ace spec. However, in these scenarios where you need to grab, 2 cards and your ace spec goes, well, that's it. You're now playing the game without an ace spec for the rest of this game, but Nina had no option here, has to grab Nest Ball and Grass Energy. And that will allow Apex Dragon to at least be used.
Yeah, it absolutely will. And that's the thing. We said she had to get Nest Ball and Grass Energy.
Yes.
But they had to be the options. But that does not feel great when, you're looking at stuff like Prime Catcher and Radiant Charizard and you're going, no. Nest Ball and basic grass, that's what I'm talking about. But the good news is Nina does get what she needs. She has all 4 energy switch in hand, so at least you haven't lost any of those. And now we can get the attack off with Regidrago.
Is Giratina V-Star in a discard pile?
Yes.
Temple of Sinnoh is currently in Nina's hand, so we could see Temple of Sinnoh to come down to turn off the V-Guard energy and the Legacy energy at the same time. And Lost Impact would actually KO this Lugia, getting around all those special energy that are attached, and take 2 prize cards at the same time.
It would, and here's the thing, I don't even really mind Lost Zone in the energy, because I hate to break it to poor old Regidrago, but it's gone next turn. That Minccino is going to evolve into a Cinccino, and that Cinccino is going to KO Regidrago. So you don't even feel bad about Lost Zone in the energy, because you know you're losing it at the end of this turn if Rahul's got a Cinccino. Looking for a head,
and there it is. Wow, capturing a roam. We're going to capture that Minccino here and grab it straight into play. Now, Interesting interaction with the Temple of Sinnoh. That does mean that Special Roll still does its normal damage because they are still special energy cards. They are just effectively special energy cards with no text right now. We do see a staging replacement of Mega Goza. That's going to be Tails. Won't be able to search anything with that. So let's see what this Primal Turbo are going to attach here.
Yeah, we're just going to try and get some energy here. We need some more onto the Cinccino here, because unfortunately 2 is not enough to KO Regidrago V-Star. 4, however, Shay.
Yeah.
Oh, 4 will definitely get the Regidrago. 70 damage for each. 4 times 70 is 280. The perfect maths. And that's why I felt good. Lost zone in the energy of Regidrago.
Yeah.
It was never surviving past this turn.
As we do see a Professor's research there, and we see double turbo energy getting attached to that bench Archeops. We'd love to start trying to see another attacking threat here from home. Remember, Legacy energy is down, has been discarded. Weirdeer going to come down. That Size Shield Bash would do 40 damage for each energy card attached to it, and it can maneuver all energy to it when it gets into the active, that Frontier Road ability. Not something we're going to use this turn. Or maybe we are, the way he's setting this up, actually.
I tell you what, we're thinking about it.
Makes sense.
Well, the problem is, those double turbo, now it is each energy, not energy card, so the double turbo essentially counters 60.
Yes.
2 times 40 minus 20 is 60, so it's 120 at the moment. You would still need to add quite a lot. Oh, no, you wouldn't. You'd only need to add 4. You're currently at 120, you need to add 160, so divided by 40 is 4. So actually, if you move it into the active, you could, but no, it's a next turn kind of thing.
Yeah.
Here's a KO with Cinccino. I thought Cinccino was the play.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, Weirdeer, I'm pretty sure could have made it.
Could have been on the Frontier Road to victory there, Weirdeer. Could be the next turn, could be the next use to get that next KO, though. Is over to Nina now. Let's have a look. I know there's a lot of energy switch in hand. Is there a lot of grass energy, though? We know 2 are in the lost zone. I think at least 1 got discarded off the Legacy Star. What else we got in it? No, there is no grass energy.
You need so much. Now, the good news is it's 2 grass, 1 fire, but you need grass energy. Oh, here comes the Mezagoza. Flips ahead, so can go and get a Pokemon there. But you need 2 grass energy, 1 more Teal Mask Gogapon, which is being gotten off of the Mezagoza.
Yeah.
2 grass energy, 2 energy switch, and a fire energy. Now, we know we've got the 2 energy switch.
And the fire.
And the fire, but you still need the 2 grass energy here.
Yep.
If you pull all of that off, then we can be doing something. But the problem is that Weirdeer is prepared. And like I said, you need 4 more energy. Well, the problem is that your Archeops gets 2 energy per Archeops, and there's 2 of them. So that 4 extra energy, 160 to add to the 120 it's already doing, that is not going to be difficult to get. Rahul has set this up beautifully. Even if this Cinccino goes down, Weirdeer's going to get the KO. If the Weirdeer somehow goes down, the Cinccino's going to get the KO. And I don't think Nina can KO both of them at the same time.
Nope, that's not possible.
We are drawing 3 cards off the Pheasantipity here, so...
We did get an Ino off there.
Nice.
So we could use that, but then you'll be putting all the energy switch down to the bottom, so you can't really actually do that, so...
And it is all the energy switch.
Yeah.
All the energy switch from Nina's deck are in her hand. We know she's not drawing an energy switch off an Ino. We know that for a fact.
Just not going to happen. And there's not enough cards here to get rid of to try and use Restart, so... We can't use the Professor's research either, because again, it falls into the same vein. The energy switch will be gone. It's a really awkward turn here for Nina to navigate. Has played Cancelling Cologne, but we are going to see the Rno being used here. So let's see how the rest of this turn can pan out. And that Cancelling Cologne, for all intents and purposes, won't be doing anything for the rest.
Is there any way her deck is small enough that she draws 4 and then she draws 2 more from the Teal Mask Gogapon and then get some of the energy switch back? I don't think
the deck's that small. I don't think even saw any grass energy there.
No, I was going to say, I don't think we've got any of that. Now, the good news is Nina's going to be shuffling her deck here, so the energy switch are going to be now randomized in the deck rather than at the bottom. But, and I do think this needs mentioning, we don't actually have any grass energy right now, Shay. No. And that is what Nina needs more than anything else.
Yeah, the grass, and that's the problem. I think there was 2 in the discard pile there, right? 2 in the lost zone, so that only left, 3 basic copies available. I just didn't quite draw into them. So we are going to see that super concluding there, shuffling that Radiant, Charizard, a grass energy, and a fire energy, shuffling up the deck. So yeah, he said at least the energy switch aren't at the bottom now, so it looks like it's going to be a grasping draw. to get 6 new cards. Oh, no, restart first. I apologize.
And you'll notice
Still no
that
energy.
Nina actually used Switch, despite Mew having free retreat, just to -1 card in her hand to draw more with restart. Just a cheeky little heads-up play there, which I do think makes a little bit of a difference. Now, here comes a Grasping Draw. Does have at least 1 Grass Energy and an Energy Switch. And that's all you need next turn, because you can attach for turn as well. But here comes Capturing Aroma, getting an Evolution Pokemon. And here's the problem. Rahul's got 3 prize cards remaining and 2 attackers on the board. This is what you didn't want to happen. So, in theory here, Rahul should just be able to get a KO, and then next turn get a KO. And here's what we're going to do. We build up the Weird Ear this turn, and Rahul basically says, I literally do not care what you do next turn.
Yeah.
I could not care less, because whatever you do, I'm going to KO you with the one you don't KO this turn.
Yes.
So Rahul, I think, can checkmate this turn. Might even be worth putting an energy onto the Archeops just to give yourself free retreat here, because the Archeops are not free retreaters naturally. But as it stands at the moment, it looks like, I think doing 220 with Weird Ear right now. I think it's 220 with Weird Ear right now, because the double turbo, of course, I'm minusing 60 in total. So it should be 6, 12, 18, plus the extra energy is 220. Correct me if my maths is wrong here, Shay. So we'd still need 2 more energy to get a Regidrago. Of course, that's assuming that we don't have a boss's orders.
Yes.
Which there's a very good chance Rahul plays a full 4 of them.
Well, I think of the Capturing Aroma flip and the Mesogoza, I think would have gone and grabbed Lumineon for the boss. I don't think it's currently available yet. But here we do see a pay retreat. Oh, we're going to see a speed wing for 100 damage, actually, which is fine. That's a nice KO there. Archeops getting involved. Now, I'll tell you what, talk about checkmate. It's like, what, you can't even remove one of my threats. 2 are benched back here. Do your worst.
Yeah.
What? Love to see it.
Yeah, and you're not going to be able to, unless there's no deck in the energy, you can't trap the Archeops in the active, because, of course, Archeops searches energy from the deck. So I'm just trying to think of anything Nina can do here, but with 2 prize cards remaining, 2 attackers set up, access to all of your energy, I think Rahul could literally just discard his own hand for fun now and still just win next turn doing nothing else.
Now, let's think about Lugia. It can play off the board when you have those Archeops set up. We did see 2 Till Dancers being activated there to be able to attach extra energy. We just saw double energy switch is being lined up here, so Apex Dragon will be live. I don't think there's any magical attack that can, you know, immediately seal this game up here, but I guess you have to try your best. Mesogoza flip.
It is.
That's Tails.
That's the thing. Regidrago last turn gave Nina a fighting chance to get back into this game. Regidrago this turn, I don't think does. Here we see a Professor's Research, discarding a hand, drawing a new hand of 7 cards. But I'm not seeing anything in there that's going to make much of a difference.
I guess you can Nest Ball, grab Radiant Charizard, KO, leave a 1 prize in the active to at least force a boss's orders, right? I think that's how you play tier out. That's all you can do here. Yep, I think that's the best case scenario, because we haven't seen any basic energy attached yet. We do see 5 energy in hand, that nice secret rare one, golden one, and flip the script being activated here to draw 3 more.
Yeah, leaving with 2 cards left in deck, but that's fine. Nina's not going to have 3 more turns after this. 2 turns will do fine. Here we actually see an Ultra Ball. Oh, it was more than 2 cards.
Yeah, more than 2 cards. Those red sleeves, making it hard to see exactly how much. I think was there, what, 5 after the Dragapult was taken?
Something like that. I'm going to play the colorblind card again and just say it's not my fault, I'm colorblind, which is true.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah, so I'm doing that thing again, like Nina's doing, where I'm just thinking, right, what's the deal here? And now she's having a look and going, right, you're Weird Ear, what are you on? Weird Ear's hitting 220 right now, which gets everything except Regidrago V-Star. Not a coincidence. Of course it does just enough to get Fez and Dipty and the Team Mask Ogre Bomb. Here comes the KO with Radiant Charizard, and now Rahul just needs a boss's orders. Doesn't have it in hand, actually.
No.
But I don't see how Nina's taking... Can she take...
Top deck's it! Top deck! Boss's
there
orders!
And Rahul Reddy is going to be your top seed going into day 2 after that 2-0 victory with Lugia V-Star, ending on a record of 11 wins and 1 loss with the same 60-card deck that he played at the World Championships. You said it yourself, Shay. The only thing he changed
was the sleeves. And might have to change them again as he gets into this asymmetrical top cut there. Love to see it. What a performance. The Lugia deck, oh, quite honestly, I love the Lugia deck when it's just popping off like that. It's just poetry in motion. Just energy flying there, and I think he polled it super well.
Yes.
Like, there were many decisions there that I don't think I would have done that he did. Attack him with speed ring, for example.
Yes.
You know, setting up the weird ear early.
Yes.
It just meant it made Nina have to answer so many more questions, and unfortunately, Nina just wasn't able to. But I want to give a massive shout out to Nina though. First Masters event, and he's got one game away from being in asymmetrical top cut. What an achievement.
That was an amazing achievement, just a phenomenal record, 28 points coming in. And let's actually see, let's have a look. Because you said about those good plays from Rahul.
Yep.
He set up a checkmate early. Let's see how we did it. So back in game one, we see the Reddy Drago setting up here. And we saw the early attack with that Phantom Dive, copying the Dragapult EX. But the good news for Rahul was he said, don't worry about it, because I've got my old friend Chinchino. It's a one-prize Pokemon that can KO Reddy Drago V-Star, and that is exactly what Chinchino came and did. 4 energy, 280, got the KO.
And it just makes you, Nina, answer questions when you're saying, like, how do I deal with that? It's a one-prize Pokemon that is just obliterating my Pokemon. Now, we did see that V-Guard energy coming up there, reducing that damage by 30. We mentioned it right at the start, how that makes it a lot harder for Reddy Drago. And with that boss's orders, Rahul was able to just keep taking 2-prize KOs. And when Lugia keeps taking 2-prize KOs, it's just one of the hardest decks to play against because it's just going to win very fast.
Yeah, 2-prize KOs turn after turn is what Lugia does. And there we saw the Luminion for that last boss's orders. There's only one in the deck, remember. Brings up the Squawkabilly, gets the win. Over into game 2, we saw Nina have that Spiritomb start, and it was a bad start. Rahul gets going early, takes the first prize on the Spiritomb, and never really looked back from there. Everything was more difficult for Nina. She had to use that early V-Star power, getting rid of the Radiant Charizard, losing that Prime Catcher just for a Nest Ball and a Grass energy.
We did see this big, strong Temple of Sinnoh turn, though, which was, you know, the perfect turn you could try and piece together with the cards that you had, but unfortunately, it just wasn't enough as the Chin came out again. The side shield bash was just waiting there on the bench. Speed Ring Archeops even got involved as well. Love to see it.
Oh, yes.
And at that point, it was just Rahul's game to lose, and Nina, you know, did everything she could. Put the Combustion Blast Charizard, Rain Charizard in the active, forced Rahul to have the boss, but that card there was boss's orders, gets his shows up, extends the handshake, and Rahul will be entering our asymmetrical top cut here, Dortmund Regionals, and doing so, going undefeated.
Not quite undefeated, 11-1 record.
I apologise.
But as the top seed with 33 points. Got another couple updates for you. Some decks we maybe weren't expecting. Stephen Law, 10-1-1 with Iron Thorns, 31 points, which, like I say, Tord ID'd in, well, it seems like they ID'd at least.
Yep.
This was the fastest tie in history, which seems like, you know, 31 points seems safe. Stefan Ivanov with your pick, Palkia, 31 points, and somehow Glenn Bowers took down Morse's Raging Bolt EX to go to 30 points. If 30 points is the bubble, we've got a Miraidon in the asymmetrical top cut, and I'm quite happy about that personally, Shay. I'm just putting that out there.
I can imagine you're ecstatic about that, but I have a feeling there's someone in this venue who might be even more ecstatic, and that is Rahul Reddy after winning that round. So we're going to throw it down there and have an interview.